Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my August TBR video. So for the month of August, I actually have 10 books that I want to get to, which might sound like a lot considering I was just saying that I want to spend less time reading, but a couple of them are graphic novels, so these are like the 10 that I really want to prioritize and we'll see what happens. The first book that I'm planning on reading, and I'm actually buddy reading it with Alexa from Alexa Loves Books, is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, and Andrew might actually buddy read this as well, which is pretty exciting. So this is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy, the first Mistborn trilogy. Alexa and I buddy read the first book a couple of months ago, so I'm really excited to dive in and to complete the series because I've read the first book 2 times and I've read the second and third book 0 times, so I'm going to be fixing that this month. The next book that I am pretty much dying to pick up at this point is Blood of Elves by Andrew Sapkowski. This is the third book in the Witcher series, even though it is labeled number 1. It is not the first book. The first 2 books are short stories, which I have read and loved. I really am excited to now dive into the full-length novels in the series. I'm also really excited for the Netflix adaptation. So our main character, Geralt, is a witcher, which means that he is a monster hunter. He doesn't really have human emotions, but he kind of does. He has more emotion than people think that he does, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where the story's going next. It's very character-driven. I really love all of the characters that I've met so far in the short stories, and I can't wait to see just where everything's gonna go. Number 3 on my list is Thrawn Treason by Timothy Zahn. This is the third and final book in the Thrawn trilogy. I'm really looking forward to seeing once again how this series is going to wrap up because I really loved the first 2 books. The first one I definitely liked more than the second one, but there's a character from the first one that is returning that I am really pumped for, so I can't wait to read it. I really love Thrawn and I really wish that Thrawn would be in the films, but I doubt that that will ever happen, sadly. But you know, never say never. The Star Wars universe is always expanding, so I'm really excited to read this one. The next book that I want to read is another Star Wars book, and that is Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. This trilogy takes place after Return of the Jedi, so it is after the Battle of Endor. I believe we're actually following Wedge Antilles, who is like the most well-known pilot within the original trilogy of Star Wars films, so I'm really excited about that. This says Journey to The Force Awakens, so this is supposed to actually like fill in those gaps between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and I'm pretty excited because it's going to be following my original, or not just mine, but everyone's original characters of Han, Luke, and Leia, so I'm excited to get more of their story and see their character cameos. Even though I don't think that they are the main characters, I'm sure that they are pretty big within this story. Next on my list is Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolf. This is a book that I got last year because the cover is gorgeous and I really wanted to read it and I hadn't gotten to it, so I want to do so because they released the cover for the second book, which I showed you guys in my last news video, and it's stunning, and yeah, it made me realize like, oh my gosh, I've had that book on my shelf for so long and I haven't picked it up, so I need to do that. So I want to read it in August. It follows a character named Zara who is heartless. Her heart's being kept in a jar by this witch that she serves, and she really wants to get her heart back, but she has thus far been unable to until the witch decides to make a deal with her that if Zara is able to bring her the heart of a prince, she'll give her her own heart back, but if she fails, if she gets caught infiltrating the palace, then she will destroy Zara's heart. So kind of high stakes going on there. It sounds like it's going to be really good. The next book on my list is a graphic novel, and that is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is one that I've been so highly anticipating because I really love Rainbow's books, and particularly this book I'm excited for because it's called Pumpkinheads and it takes place at a pumpkin patch, which sounds incredible. It follows 2 characters who are spending, I believe it's their last summer at this pumpkin patch, like before they go off to college. It just has major autumn vibes, and that's just like what I'm here for. So I can't wait to pick that one up when it comes out. It comes out, I want to say it's toward the end of August, like August 27th or something. I already have a copy pre-ordered, so I'm probably gonna read it like the day that it comes in the mail. I also really want to read Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is a new book that is coming out in September from Tor, and I am really looking forward to picking it up. My friend Mel from Mel to the Any adored it. I'm pretty sure it's her favorite book of the year so far, so that's like pretty high praise. It's about a character who is a necromancer. The reason that I have like now want to read it even more than I did before is because I read this article on Kotaku about how video games are such a big inspiration for fantasy and sci-fi authors like of today. Tamsin was one of the authors that they kind of of highlighted, and she talked about how this book is basically a JRPG, and she said that it even begins with the character like getting up from her bed, which is really cool, like, and having that mindset going into it has gotten me really excited for it. Can't wait to read it. I'm very much looking forward to it. Definitely look out for this one in September. I also really want to read Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. This is one that I picked up at Book Expo, and I am really excited for it. I have talked about this book in a lot of other videos, so I'm not really going to go into the synopsis, but it just looks absolutely amazing and I can't wait. And this is another graphic novel, so this will also be a quick read. Then the last graphic novel on my TBR is The OK Witch by Emma Stein Kellner. This is a middle grade novel. It follows a girl named Moth, and she is obsessed with all things witchy, and there is a major like history of witch stuff going on in her town. And then on Halloween, she is being bullied by these 8th graders, and I don't know how it happens, but she realizes that she has some powers and that her family is kind of at the center of all of the witch drama going on in her town. And that sounds spur up my alley. And this one also comes out in September. And then the final book on my TBR, which I am also buddy reading with Alexa from Alexa Loves Books, is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. This is another book that is coming out in September. It's a fantasy book about a girl named January, and she lives in this enormous mansion. She is the ward of Locke, who is somebody that goes and like finds all of these crazy intense artifacts, some of them potentially magical, I believe. And then one day he just disappears, and January actually discovers this very strange book that kind of pulls her in, and it has all of these secrets about other worlds and different doors, and I believe it's going to intertwine with January's own life, and I've heard really good things about this one from Holly Hart's books. She got me really excited to read it. Cannot wait. And then one last thing that I wanted to include in my kind of plans for the month is that I've also been trying to plan it out so that I can play a game every month, and hence like a little bit less of the reading. So in August, Andrew and I really want to focus on playing Hollow Knight, which is an indie game. All of the graphics and stuff look super cool, but it just came to the Nintendo Switch, and I pre-ordered a copy of it from Fangamer, which hasn't yet arrived, so that's why I don't have it to hold up. We're planning on finishing up the games that we're in the middle of over the next week, and then we're going to be diving into Hollow Knight in August, and I'm really looking forward to playing that. And yeah, those are all of my plans, so let me know what you're planning on reading, if there are any games that you're planning on playing. I'll see you guys soon in a new video. Bye!